Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the FB4 Daily for Wednesday, the 10th of July. Where are we going to go today? Well, first things first is we put a poll out last night with regards to the transfer window and a little what-if question, I suppose. And the what-if question was, if we signed no major players, would you trust Klopp 100%? Would you think it's a little bit of a risk, or would you think it was a bad mistake? We've had about closing in, I think, on 4,000 votes in around that. 50% of you think that you trust Klopp 100%, and a small percentage, maybe about 15%, said it's a big mistake, and the rest think it's a bit of a risk. I just wanted to see what you think. Chris is online. Hey, Chris. What do you think? You know, like, there's varying reports going around from different journalists. Some are saying that we're making bids for player A, B and C, or X, you know, player X, player Y, different things like that. Others are saying no, we won't do anything. So there's varying reports, and to me it just screams of not really anyone knowing what's going on. But I just want to put the question to you today. Let's say we get to Norwich at home and we haven't made what you would consider a major signing. What I mean by major signing is a front three player, a top midfield player, and we'll put the left back in there as well, because I think that's one that people think left back / defender we'll put in, and let's, you know, we put them down as three major signings. So if we didn't make any of them, would you trust Klopp? Would you think it's a bit of a risk, or do you think it's a big mistake? You know, I've had lads on to me on Twitter and WhatsApp and different things, and one lad today showed me a side from Man City that could be their FA Cup team, and it was a ridiculously good side. First comment in, trusting Klopp no matter what. It's still a gamble on injury prone players. Yeah, it's a fair point. I'd be with you on that. I'll trust Klopp no matter what he does. Whether that's make 2 or 3, which I think and hope he does, or signs none. He has a plan in place. The injury prone player thing is a decent shout though. You know, you're bringing back an Ox that's being injured, you're bringing back a Gomez that suffered injury, you'd be bringing back a Keita that's been in and out with niggles and different injuries throughout the season. So yeah, there is a gamble on that, despite them being what you consider, you know, as some people say, like new signings. I don't think you go that far, but they are extra bodies in the squad. It's extra quality to the squad. But yeah, you're probably right there. There is a little bit on the injury prone side that you'd have to look at, and that is probably where the risk comes from. I think if you get this squad together the way it sits now, and you are really lucky with, you know, injuries and suspensions and different and form, they're as good as anyone around, in my opinion. Chris has 2 comments in there. You have to trust Klopp. He knows who and what he needs for the season ahead, but still thinks that 2 first-team players arrive. I'm with you on that, Chris. I think there's 2, if not 3. 3 is probably being a bit greedy, but I still think there's 2. But look, try your comments in there. As I said, I've tried to get this across as much as I can. This is all about me and all of you having a chat at 3 o'clock every day. That was just the first thing I wanted to put out. The most important thing for the start of the show is your sponsor. Your sponsor for today is 3 Retro. They were with us last week. They're with us this week. They're with us for the rest of the month anyway. 3 Retro, a brilliant company for your retro football merchandise, jerseys and tracksuit tops and different things like that. You can get them at Twitter at 3retro_. You can get them on Instagram, 3 Retro, and on the web, www.3retro.com. Brilliant stuff. Anyone that's ever won a prize with us from 3 Retro goes on about the quality and how good the stuff is. A lot of people opt for the retro 70s and 80s Liverpool jerseys, but there's so much on their website. So go have a look. You could be like a certain international team. They've loads of different things going like that as well. So just to shout out the 3 Retro before we go on. Johnny says, I think a lot depends on who departs. Lallana, Mignolet, Klein, Lovren, etc. I'm trying to look at it with all them in the squad at the moment, because there's nothing being going around about Lallana going. Mignolet talk is very quiet. Klein is back. You never know, he could be kept. And the Lovren thing keeps going on and on about AC Milan and but the price keeps dropping every time it's reported, so I don't know how much is in that. As I said before on Lovren, I think if Lovren leaves, you need to make a big sign at centre half because of A, quality, and B, like you said, and we've all said before, Gomez is there, has had injuries. Matip has had injuries, although he had a brilliant 7-8 months last season. So yeah, I'd go with what the squad we have now. Just go with what the squad we have now, and what do you think? Do you trust them? Is there a risk? Is it a big mistake? I just want to hear your point of view. I put it on a poll last night. You got a great response, loads of different comments with regards to it, and I just wanted to see if any of you haven't been involved in that poll. Stick your comments in there now, and we'll talk about it. Kevin says we have youngsters fine for the future. That's the direction the club are going with right now. Yeah, the talk at the moment is that the talk is that there's been a hell of a lot of money spent on contracts, renewal of contracts, which is costing the club a hell of a lot of money, and rightly so. You know, the players need to be kind of rewarded for their form and what they've done for the club over the last couple of seasons. You have your Firmino, you have Salah, Mane, all signed up to long-term contracts. You know, there's talk of James Milner being offered an extension, which is great, and one or two others that will be, you know, I think Oxlade-Chamberlain was given an extra year, which was great as well. So, but it does cost a lot of money, so they probably are looking at these couple of youngsters coming in, like the likes of Harvey Elliott, Sepp van der Berg. There's probably one or two more they might pick up over the summer. You'll have to see how it goes. But they are looking towards the future, and that's a good thing to do. You know, always if there's a brilliant young player out there that you feel you can take and develop, by the time they're 19, 20 and they're absolutely flying, absolutely go for it. It's not costing the club a hell of a lot of money. The Harvey Elliott thing, we don't know how much it's going to cost. Sepp van der Berg is 1.3 million, possibly up to 4.5 million around that. But that all depends on about 350 appearances for Liverpool. So, but absolutely, you pick up these players if you can. But I've said it before, Liverpool are in a brilliant position of strength, and I think that's the best time to strengthen. When you're up and you're on top and you're able to pick players, and nearly you can cherry pick them if you need to be. United done it for years. Chelsea done it, even though it was Russian money that came into them. They always seem to strengthen all the time, especially when they were winning leagues and stuff like that. Any news on Pepe? I'm going to get into all that in a minute. A couple of different odds on different players and how it's looking that way. But I still think there is strengthening needs to be done. To beat City, we needed a perfect season injury free. You're probably right, but they need probably a perfect season injury free as well to beat us. Now they did have a little problem with De Bruyne last season. He was in and out a lot, but they had got the cover, you know, and we had the odd injury here and there. Like Gomez was a big loss to us at the time. We felt Firmino towards the end was a loss. We only seen Fabinho come into his own probably from Christmas onwards, probably in around that. So we had our own issues as well. I think that's not enough is made of that, you know. I think a lot of made is made of City lost De Bruyne and didn't have a problem. Well, we lost Gomez, we lost Firmino for a part. We own, you know, Fabinho worked his way into it. Oxlade-Chamberlain was out for the season. You have to look at all these players that we had injured as well. I think it's only fair to do that. But look, as I said, throw in your comments with regards to the poll we put up and what you think. Or listen, anything you think of, anything that comes into your head, just throw it up there. I don't mind what it is. It could be football, non-football. It can be about anything. Wimbledon, you're watching the tennis, it doesn't matter. Throw it in there. I'll have a chat about anything for 25 minutes, half an hour. But if you are watching this, and there is people watching, if you are watching, share it on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, let your friends know about it. The more, as I said before, the more people we get, the more different opinions we get, and the better this show gets as it goes on. Well, me and other lads that are helping me are trying our absolute best to make this as good as possibly we can. If you think it's good, let us know. If you don't, let us know. I'm alright for criticism. I can take it. I'm a big boy. I can take it, no problem. Felix really is a mad fee, isn't it? Says Barry. We are probably correct to bide our time this window. Yeah, it's a messy one, Barry. We spoke about this yesterday. And with regards to Felix, he goes there and there's murky waters with regards to Griezmann, but he's highly rated. Now 126 million was it for? Is he 18 or 19 years of age? It is a huge amount of money. But you look at Mbappe, so you know 160 odd million. It was a year loan with an obligation to buy or something like that. You might be right in buying that time this window. It could be a huge window next year, but we say that every year. You never know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. A player can turn around and say he wants to leave. You know, anything can go on. So we'll have to see. On a couple of players though, let's get into them. I looked up the odds earlier on. I looked up Paddy Powers and to see what kind of odds were going on players. Firpo, the left back from Betis. Now, I've been quite open in saying I don't think any deal involving Origi for the money that's being touted is a runner. It could be a runner of a transfer, but I don't think on the way that people are reporting it. I think 10 million as Origi as a sort of make way for it is a bit mad. Firpo has gone in Paddy Powers from 6 to 1. He was 6 to 1 a day or two ago. He's now 11 to 10 on. So he's odds on to join Liverpool. Liverpool are favourites to sign Firpo from Betis. 11 to 10 on. We'll have to wait and see. You know, if you look at Fernandes was 9 to 1 on to join Liverpool last week. He's 3 to 1 on to sign for United now. We'll have to wait and see on him. AS are reporting that Barca can't afford Griezmann and they're taking to different banks to try finance it. Well, you see, they would have been able to afford it in standard terms where they give a certain amount up front and the rest over the duration of the contract, which is usually what happens. But I think Atletico have signed somebody and decided we want all our money back very, very quickly, and Barcelona aren't in a position to do that, so that could get a little bit messy. Someone could come up and trump Barcelona, you know, and say, oh, we'll give you the 120 million. Assam says, I can see Liverpool going back in for Fekir. I really hope they do. I don't know if there's anything behind it, but I really, really, really hope they do. It's the one that I've wanted since the season ended, so that's one that I'd really, really like to go for. Pepe, he's 11 to 4 with Paddy Powers to sign for Liverpool. Liverpool are favourites to sign him, are 11 to 4. Paul Tabley asked afternoon, have I missed much? No, not really, Paul. You haven't missed much. We've just been having chats about polls and different players and odds and stuff like that. But if you have anything going around in your head, anything random, just throw it in here and we'll see how we get on. Yeah, Pepe 11 to 4 favourite. Let's see how it goes. There was a tweet last night, and Chris, I know Chris is watching. He is going to let me know who this guy is because I forget him again. He's reporting that Liverpool are making a bid for Asensio. We'll have to see. I haven't got the odds on Asensio. We'll have to, if someone wants to check the odds on him, but I haven't seen the odds on Asensio and who his next club may be, or will he move at all. The guy's name's gone completely out of my head again. But listen, this guy could be messing, as I said. But look, I don't mind. Let's have a bit of fun with the transfer window. If someone wants to say something, let them say it, and we'll have a chat about it. And it might happen, and it might not. Yossi asks, who is the left back in our own ranks good enough to play pre-season? Adam Lewis is the left back you're thinking of, Yossi. Is he good enough? I think that the managers at under 23 level certainly do. Klopp has praised him a lot from time to time. Adam Lewis, I think he started as a centre midfielder and then a left winger. He's now a left back. Very highly rated. He's one that you may see in pre-season. Tranmere, do we go? Bradford is it? We play Sunday, and you may see him travelling to America. I hope we do. Even if it's for experience for the chap. He's been really good at the 23s by all accounts. So look, if he's good enough, he plays. You know, he gets a chance. Give them all a chance. This is the time to do it, especially with our more high-profile players just finished international tournaments, or will be just finished them in the next week or so. Johnny says Asensio makes sense, but not if Mane is included. That's never going to happen. Absolutely not. No, I know Madrid have been, and Zidane in particular, are meant to be huge fans of Mane, but you don't take out guaranteed performances from Mane and swap it for a guy that you're taking. I would consider it's still a little bit of a risk in Asensio. Asensio coming in, I've no issue with it. I think he's a good player, but you don't bring him in replacing what for me is probably the best player in the league at the moment, in Mane. So no, I don't think that's going to happen. Another comment there. says he's happy with Origi and Brewster to fill in up top. They're about quality of playmakers. What's needed. They are of a certain quality. Brewster needs games to show what he can do. Origi come on really good last season and probably might get a bit more of a look in through the middle with Sturridge now departing the club. But I still think we need somebody that, as I said before, it's very hard to get someone to match our front three, but I think it's possible to get someone that's better quality than Origi and Brewster. I genuinely do, to complement what's already there. Playmaker wise, yeah, look, we've seen all the names. Fernandes, Asensio is probably one of them. Coutinho, different things like that. Chris says Asensio was 4-1 to join LFC on Sky Bet. Interesting. 4-1, would that make us favourites to sign him? I think it probably would. We'll have to wait and see, but the Asensio one rumbles on, and we'll have to wait and see what goes on with that. Other links, no, nothing really. Absolutely nothing really. You know, we have a game tomorrow against Tranmere, which we'll have a little chat about in a few minutes, and I'd love someone to try pick a team for me. If you want to sit down and look at the squad and pick a team, by all means go and do that. There's one little thing I seen today. I think it was the Mirror Maddock, the Dave Maddock, is it? He's reported that Liverpool will focus on a versatile attacker, but it will be no more than 20 million. Yeah, it's a bit much. 11-2 favourite on Paddy Power's Asensio, says Frank. So a little bit, Sky Bet are giving a bit better odds. No, Paddy Power are giving them a little bit better odds, 5.5-1. We're favourites on Sky Bet, says Chris. Yeah, I thought he would be. Sorry, it's James McCann is saying that Pepe is done. It's Pepe, not Asensio. I'm sorry about that. He's saying that Pepe is done. I don't know what the money was, but it was in around 60 million-ish, Chris, if I'm right. Yeah, Malik is saying that there'll be no more than 20 million. I find that hard to believe. With the players that are being out there and we're being linked with, say, let's take Asensio and Pepe just because they're probably the most frequent at the minute. They're 3 times what Malik is saying. I don't know how. I don't read a lot from Dave Maddock. I don't follow him on Twitter, you know, but I think it's a bit of a strange one for him to say 20 million. I really can't see it. Frank says Asensio would be brilliant. Imagine how much he would develop under Klopp. Goes for any player, it really does. 68 million is supposedly the Pepe money. Sorry for jumping from one player to the other, but Chris says 68 million is the reported money for Pepe. But any player will develop under Klopp once they want to, once they have the right attitude and they quickly understand what's involved and what's needed, what's required. Any player can flourish under Klopp. They really can. But like, it's hard to kind of, you know, Mick there saying Maddison for 30 million. I don't see Maddison going anywhere. I think Brendan Rodgers is doing a decent job this summer at building Leicester. It'll all probably hinge on what Harry Maguire does. They're probably bringing in players before allowing the sale of Harry Maguire to happen. You know, but I can't see Maddison leaving. I think they're building a squad there to try push into the top 6. So letting players like that go. I think if they do let one go, it will be Maguire, and they're probably signing these players now before everyone knows they've 80 million in their back pocket or whatever it is reported. But against that, you know, they haven't signed a centre half, I don't think. Maddock reported that Danny Ward would be number 1 before we signed Alisson. Yeah, did he? Okay, and then left a week later. Okay, that's fair enough. Fekir available for 25 million. It's a no-brainer for me. Fekir is a no-brainer, absolutely. Kev O'Sullivan says Asensio has it all to prove. I've not been impressed by him in the last 2 seasons. I haven't heard much of him. I haven't seen much of him even when I watch Madrid the odd time. Haven't seen much of him. I'd say he was linked last year, and I kind of had a look at a few bits on him, but he's not one that stood out, or I don't know if he's even played much for Real Madrid, but he's not one that's ever stood out to me. Johnny says the local journalists are all saying a quiet summer. I think they kind of have to, because they're not getting fed anything at the minute. They really aren't. Paul Tabley says Coutinho could be incredible under Klopp again. I think he would knuckle down now or this time. Yeah, I think that I would have nothing about him. I'd have no problem. I'd have no problem with him coming back. I've said it openly. but I think that ship may have sailed. I really do. I think Klopp was really hurt by that transfer. As much as I take him back, I think Klopp was really hurt by that and the way things went on. So I think that may have, Paul, I think that one may be gone. Achterberg, sorry, they're all flying in. Sorry, Mick Jones says Coutinho's biggest issue is his agent. Maybe so, it may be, but you know, little reports yesterday that his agent is trying to manoeuvre something towards Liverpool. It'd be a big surprise for me. It'd be a big surprise for me. Sorry, Jussi picked the team. Achterberg in goal. Lewis, Van der Berg, Lovren, Klein, Fabinho, Hendel, Lallana, Kent, Brewster, Wilson. I don't know if you'll see Henderson, Lovren in there anyway. I don't think you'll see them too. Be interested to see the team. I think if I was to pick a team, I'd probably go. I think Gabara is available. Gabara for me. Klein, Van der Berg, or Gomez, Matip can play. Lewis at left back. You have Fabinho back. You have Milner back. But he'll name two 11s. Usually that's what he does. But look, I just want to watch Liverpool playing football again. That's being honest with you. Selling Coutinho was the best bit of business we ever did, says Frank. Alisson and Van Dijk coming in. Now I have issue with this, Frank. I have issue with this because Coutinho had nothing to do with the signing of Virgil van Dijk. He did no way finance the signing of Virgil van Dijk. That's the first thing. Virgil van Dijk was on the verge of signing for Liverpool it was reported at the start of June 2017, before Coutinho ever had an issue with anything. 50 million. You know, that was a transfer happening before Coutinho ever decided he was having a problem, or it was near the end of the window when the Van Dijk stuff was still going on, and then Coutinho wanted to go, but he didn't no way finance it. I'll give you Alisson. I'll give you that. Yeah, he did finance Alisson. But no, Van Dijk was happening, and if Coutinho never threw his toys out of pram, Coutinho would still be here, and I think Van Dijk would still have signed, and I still think we would have went and got Alisson. I think that's how much of a backing that Jurgen Klopp has now with the club. I stole the idea from Redmen TV, says Jussi. Oh, of the team. Yeah, they're not a bad place to steal stuff from, the Redmen. Really good content. They're good lads. They put out good stuff. They sell good merch. Good lads all around. Deal was for Van Dijk was all verbally agreed before Coutinho kicked up a fuss. That's what I've just said, Chris. There's no way that Coutinho financed Virgil van Dijk. Not in a million years, and I'll never back down from that. 20 million on an attacker. If the right player comes up, we'll act. We will act. I do think we will act, absolutely. And as I said, transfers are long in the making. I don't think we've woke up this morning and decided, oh, we need an attacker. Who would I prefer, Coutinho, Fekir, Fernandes, or Asensio? I still have to go with Fekir. I really do. I just really want to see him in a Liverpool shirt and what he can do. The Coutinho money allowed us a lot of leeway in terms of FFP. It may have done. It was a huge amount of money, and we're still owed money from it, so it may have done. But Virgil van Dijk was signing for Liverpool regardless of what Coutinho done, in my opinion. Anything on Firpo? No, we were just talking about him earlier. He's gone from 6-1 into 11-10 with Paddy Powers. The odds on that's the odds at the minute. We are 11-10 on favourites to sign Firpo. We are 11-4 favourites with Paddy Power to sign Pepe, and we are, I think it was 11-2 with Paddy Power's favourite to sign Asensio. So they're the three big ones at the minute. We'll be back tomorrow, as always, around 3 o'clock, unless it changes. I'm lining up a couple of guests to come on here to be on the phone talking to me and giving me their point of view, because my point of view is mine and yours is yours. And listen, the more people that give you know, opinions on this, the better, and get us through the summer. One big thing though, I know we're playing Tranmere, and we'll talk about that on Friday when we're on. We'll talk about Bradford, or is it Bradford? Yeah, on Monday. I keep thinking Brentford, but Bradford on Monday when that's on. But the American games, they're on late at night, the majority of them. I'm willing to sit up. I'm going to sit up and watch them anyway. But if you want to come on here and we do this as a little bit of a late night Fatback 4, absolutely. If you want to, let me know. You can get me at LFC Day Trippers, or you can get me at is it at GabDoyle82, I think it is, on Twitter. You'll know where I am. You'll find me. Just drop me a DM or put a message on here, or let us know on the Trippers feed. If you want to watch this, while I'm watching the game, I can have a chat with you, have a beer. Yeah, we can all do that together. I've no problem doing that. A few people have mentioned it to me. So if you do want to do that, let me know. Today's show, of course, was brought to you by 3 Retro. Your first stop for retro merchandise at 3retro_ on Twitter, 3retro on Instagram, and www.3retro.com. Yeah, Bradford is on Sunday, but we'll talk about it on Monday when I come back. We might even get it on the Fatback 4. We'll have to wait and see. But that's it. That's been us. That's been me. That's been you. That's been the Fatback 4 Daily. As I said, anything you want to talk to us about, get onto the LFC Day Trippers Twitter and just send us a tweet on there, and we're willing to talk about anything. I'm willing to talk about anything. I know yous are. We talk the price of chocolate during the week, random stuff like that. I love, absolutely love. Throw that in there whenever you feel like it as well. But that's been us. Have a good one. Talk to you tomorrow. Over now.